This tutorial is to help you better understand how you're going to use the Visible Body software. First thing that you're going to do is log in. You'll have some options on the side here. The only one you really are going to need to use is assignments. When you click there, you're going to see a lab. Click on it. Here's the lab. Click on it. And now you have the option to open this PDF. So click on it. Now that you've done that, you'll see it's opened in a new tab. You have the option up here in the right hand corner to either print it or to download it. But you're going to mostly toggle between this tab and the software. So now let's look at the lab and see what it says to do and get a little bit familiar with the features. As I scroll down, you always start at the top of the page and it will explain in the directions what you're going to open and what you're going to do. So right now it says open the Atlas app, and then from the Views menu, go to Systems Views, and then scroll down to Digestive Systems Views, number 6, and Alimentary Canal. So let's look at what that means because it sounds a little confusing. When I click back on my software, on the right-hand column, you go to the bottom, it says My Apps. So it said go to My Apps. There are 4 options. The one it wanted us to do was Human Anatomy Atlas. It'll take a couple moments for this to load for you. One of the things to be aware about these labs is we're going to be doing them over the course of several days. And after you get through the first one, you'll be familiar with the software. So now we're in, and we can see there's many different options. You should be on Systems. The lab told us to go down to Digestive System, so I'm scrolling down. And then it said go to number 6, Alimentary Canal, so I click on that one. So let's just double check that with the lab. When I click on the lab here, I'm in the right place. Now it tells me that I need to learn all the terms that are in bold and on the diagram labels. So it tells me to zoom out so the entire model is visible, and it wants me to do a few things. So notice now we've got 3 tabs open. We have the lab, we have the atlas where I can now manipulate this, and then I have the original course. So this is the view we're going to be using. If you click on it and hold it, you can move it around side to side. You can look at a bottom view, a top view. You can zoom in, and I'm zooming in right now using a mouse by using a scroll button. It also works on my trackpad by sort of pinching the fingers and zooming in and out like you might on a picture on your phone. So that's the idea of how that works. Now, one of the things it wanted us to do was zoom in. So I've zoomed in. So let me go back to the lab. And it says deselect the skeletal system, the skull icon. Let's look at where that is. So in this menu, in the bottom left-hand corner, it says Systems. If you click on that, you'll see if you hover over it, it gives you different body systems. I can add or subtract them from my view. So the first time I click the skeleton, it puts the whole skeleton in. The second time I click it, it takes the skeleton out. And that's what it wanted us to do, so we can just look at this system in isolation. Now, what's it want us to do? We go back. Wanted us to look at it from different angles, so you play around with it. Now we have to locate these different sections. So it wants us to find the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, and so on. So I go here, and if I click on a structure, it gives us a new box, and it gives us a name. I can click on the speaker to hear a pronunciation. I can click on the book to get more information about it, and you may need to do that later in the lab. I can also select or hide different objects. So right now I have the gums selected. If I hit hide down here at the bottom, it'll make it go away. If I click it again, it'll bring it back. I can also fade it so that it's there but ghost it a little bit, or I can bring it back. So let's say I hit a few objects because I wanted to get them out of the way while I was working, and I want to get everything back. Okay, in the top left-hand corner here, there is a refresh button, and that'll put you back to your original view. So let's go back to the lab. So I scroll down. I'm going to do the same thing here. When it says go to Views menu, select one. When I'm here, how do I get back to the different views? Top left-hand corner says Menu. I can click on it and get back to the different views. And now I click number one, and it lets me look at these. One of the questions here, as I scroll down, is what are the origins and insertions of these muscles? By going back to it and clicking on one of them, I get that box again. Click on the book, and there's your information. And that's how you're going to answer these questions. Okay, back to the lab. Scrolling down, you'll be able to do most of these. Now, on the third page, in the Views menu, it wants us to select Muscle Actions. This one can be a little tricky to find at first. When you go here, I go back to Views, and I'm looking for Muscle Actions in here, and I can't find it. That's because it's in this bar, Systems, Gross Anatomy. Over here, it's Muscle Actions. So if I click on that one, then I've got the Muscle Actions, and it gives me a little animation to show me what's happening. And then, of course, I can always go back using the top left button for menu. Okay, back to the lab. Once you've done them at certain points, it will ask you to take a little quiz. So where do we find the quizzes? Let's go back. And you notice at the top here, it says quizzes. When you click on that, it gives you the different options for the quizzes. So which one did they want us to do? This says take quiz 6, upper tract. So I'm here, I find 6, upper tract. Now I'm in a quiz. Here's the question in the top right hand corner. Select any part of the stomach. So I click on the stomach. I think I've got part of it. I hit submit, and tells me I'm correct, or it'll tell me I'm not. Then I can go to the next question. Okay, now it wants me to find the anterior surface of the cardiac sphincter. I can zoom in. I can turn this thing around to find the view I want. So let's say something's in the way here. I can click on that object. I can hide it, click on it, hide it, click on it, hide it, and so on. And now let's say I think this is the cardiac sphincter. It's going to be incorrect, but I click submit. It tells me I'm wrong. I can try again, or I can let it give me the answer as a little self-test here. Again, if I've removed things and I want to return to the original view, I can always hit this refresh button in the top left corner. And if I need to get back to the main menu at any point, I can click menu. So that is one part of the lab. The rest of the lab works in a similar way. It is several pages long. We are not doing this all in one day. This is going to be done over the course of approximately 2 to 3 weeks, and I recommend you doing a little bit each day. If you have any questions or need any help with this program, contact me and we will definitely figure it out together.